Across the world right now, Christians are meeting in secret and are being targeted. Bibles are burned. Churches are raided. Believers disappear in the night, and the world barely whispers. This is not history. This is 2025. Today, we reveal the hardest places on earth to follow Christ ranked and explained, with stories the mainstream refuses to tell. Some of these countries may shock you. Some may break your heart. But all of them will remind you of one thing, that faith still costs something. Before we begin, this documentary is not created to spread fear but awareness. The global church is one body, and when one part suffers, we all feel it. Why is Christian persecution rising in 2025? Religious freedom is changing fast. Political instability, militant groups, authoritarian governments, and deep cultural hostility are creating the most difficult environment Christians have faced in decades. From the deserts of the Middle East to the mountains of Asia to the villages of Africa, persecution is no longer isolated. It is global. Let's begin with number 10. India. In 2025, rising nationalist sentiment has led to churches being monitored. Believers accused of forced conversions and entire communities pressured to abandon their faith. Christians in rural regions face the heaviest hostility, often cut off from protection or justice. 9. Nigeria. You already know the story, ranging from relentless attacks from extremist groups, mass kidnappings, and targeted violence against Christians and churches. Despite being the home to one of the largest Christian populations in Africa, Christian believers remain among the most vulnerable. My previous video revealed this truth, and the world responded. 8. Iran. In Iran, house churches operate in total secrecy. In fact, converting from the state religion is dangerous. Believers gather knowing one knock on the door could change everything. 7. Eritrea. In Eritrea, which is often called the North Korea of Africa, Christians are imprisoned in shipping containers and remote military camps. Years can pass without families hearing from their loved ones. 6. Pakistan. In Pakistan, danger comes through blasphemy accusations, which can erupt into mob violence within minutes. Even when Christians are proven innocent, the stigma follows them for life. 5. Yemen. In a nation torn by war, Christians often lack legal identity, protection, or recognition. Practicing faith openly can be life-threatening. 4. Libya. A country controlled by militias, where law and order are unstable. Foreign Christians are especially at risk, targeted for kidnapping or pressure from armed groups. 3. Somalia. Here, to be openly Christian here is almost impossible. Believers face pressure from extremist factions and even from extended family networks. Conversions happen quietly at great personal risk. 2. Afghanistan. With the Taliban back in full control, Christian presence is almost entirely underground. Believers often live as secret disciples, with no churches, no open gatherings, and no margin for error. 1. North Korea. In North Korea, the most hostile environment for Christians remains unchanged. To own a Bible, to meet in a house church, to whisper a prayer, is an act of courage that can mean prison, labor camps, or worse. Yet, despite the danger, faith still spreads quietly, bravely. However, behind every ranking is a person. A father praying in secret. A mother whispering scripture to her children. A teenager hiding a digital Bible on a phone. This is not about fear, it's about remembering the cost of discipleship. Jesus warned his followers that the world would resist the light. But he also promised that his church would endure, even in the fire. In 2025, that promise remains unbroken. So today, pray stay informed. Speak about what others stay silent on. And remember, the persecuted church is not far away. It is our family. Thank you for watching. And may God strengthen every believer who stands firm in the hardest places on earth.